Pounding the Keys, Hurricane George rips across the Florida island chain, tearing up trees, stirring up the seas. And the killer storm may next be headed for the Gulf Coast, the Florida Panhandle, Louisiana, Mississippi, and/or Alabama.
This is the CBS Evening News, with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. Big and dangerous Hurricane George is heading up the Gulf Coast tonight after a collision with the Florida Keys. This was the scene today in the lower Keys. President Clinton has declared a state of emergency, making Florida eligible for federal assistance. The hurricane spared Florida's east coast, including Miami. As the storm moves up the coast, hurricane watches and warnings stretches far north and west as Morgan City, Louisiana. In Mississippi, voluntary evacuations of the coast are expected to begin tomorrow. Meteorologist Brian Norcos is tracking the storm from the CBS News Hurricane Center in Miami. Brian?
Dan, as we watch the satellite picture today, we see signs that this hurricane is getting even more intense. We see a very tight area of very dense cloudiness there right around the center. And as you say, it's heading toward the Gulf Coast. We think hurricane warnings will be issued somewhere between Louisiana and the Florida Panhandle as soon as tomorrow morning. And this could easily be a Category 3 hurricane, a major hurricane there on the Gulf Coast arriving early Sunday.
Brian Norcos in Miami. Keep in mind that a Category 3 would be winds roughly in the range of 130 miles an hour. Point is, the hurricane, once it gets loose in the Gulf of Mexico, could begin to grow. No one at this stage really knows. Many residents of the Florida Keys had left the beautiful resort islands long before the eye of the storm crossed Key West today. CBS's Bernie Goldberg was there for the collision, and tonight shows you the damage and destruction.
George blew in off the ocean and gave the Florida Keys a wake-up call this morning. And it was loud and jarring. In Key West and throughout the Keys, streets were flooded, roads were blocked, power lines were down. Top sustained winds reached 105 miles an hour. And even though the Keys were pelted all day long, the damage was nothing like what George left behind when it ripped through the Caribbean. Nothing like Hurricane Andrew 6 years ago, which destroyed parts of South Florida.
We haven't had any fatalities or even injuries reported yet.
The eye passed over Key West at midday, providing a short let-up to the day-long pounding.
Get off the street. Find a place to go.
This afternoon, the winds kicked up again, but the rain didn't dampen the local spirits.
Another day in paradise.
Around here, they like to say that every day is another day in paradise. Not today. Even when George finishes battering the Florida Keys, it won't be over. When it hits the Gulf of Mexico, it almost certainly will re-intensify and head for its next target. Probably the Gulf Coast, someplace between the Florida Panhandle and New Orleans. Bernard Goldberg, CBS News, Key West.
As the hurricane moves away from Key West and up the Gulf Coast, we have CBS News correspondent John Roberts on the scene tonight live in Naples, Florida. John, what's going on there?
Dan, tropical storm force winds have been blowing much of the day on the west coast of Florida, but it appears as though this is as bad as it's going to get. George failed to make an expected turn to the north, the turn that would have brought it much closer to here.
Naples was ready for George. Residents remember the devastation wrought by Hurricane Donna in 1960 and the unexpected hit the area took from Andrew 6 years ago. So they didn't wait when the hurricane warnings and evacuation orders went out. The Red Cross served lunch to more than 1,000 people at the Collier County shelter. This woman, on her birthday, dragged her husband to safe ground.
It's a hurricane.
I have to almost beg on my knees to tell him, please give me that for birthday present. Let's
come
go
to the shelter.
Yeah,
yes.
come to the shelter.
You were worried about all the rain?
Yeah, sure. I don't want to leave him by himself over there, come home and find him drowned.
But after all the anticipation, at the hour when George was supposed to hit, many people watched from the beach as the hurricane slowly slipped by.
A narrow miss and a lucky break for Naples and the west coast of Florida. Just a change of a few degrees in George's track would have brought the eye right over us. Dan?
John Roberts in Naples, Florida. We'll see where it goes next. There have been no breaks of any kind for most of the Caribbean in its 4-day path all the way up the island chain to the Florida Keys and beyond. Hurricane George has left death and destruction at every stop. The worst was saved for the Dominican Republic, as we hear from CBS's Byron Pitts.
Today in the Dominican Republic, where floodwaters are still rising, 100,000 people are homeless, and rescue teams are now finding bodies 10 to 20 at a time buried beneath mudslides. Hurricane George killed close to 300 men, women, and children, another 87 in neighboring Haiti. And according to the Red Cross, several thousand people in both countries are still missing. Please, government, help us, this woman says. Children are dying of hunger. We have nothing. Mothers have shed the same tears in Puerto Rico, where the government estimates the damage is at least $2 billion. Across the Caribbean, from Cuba to St. Kitts, where homes were leveled, crops were lost, and where millions already lived lean, George made life worse. By the time Hurricane George reached South Florida, it was more of a nuisance than a nightmare. No comparison to Hurricane Andrew in 1992. That was the costliest hurricane in U.S. history. So no one here is complaining. Byron Pitts, CBS News, Miami.
In this active hurricane season, George is only one entry in a rare, crowded field of 4 hurricanes this late in the season. In the middle of the Atlantic, keep in mind, are still Carl and Ivan. And there's Jean, west of the Cape Verde Islands, all spinning out there. Later in this broadcast, we'll give you an update with hurricane expert Dr. Emil Frank. And still ahead, also on the CBS Evening News, President Clinton goes on the road and on the offensive about what Congress should be dealing with, but isn't. Jones versus Clinton, all of Jones's lawyers now looking to settle. A new generation of flu-fighting drugs and amber waves of pain for U.S. grain farmers in the Great Northern Plains.
You're on Love Matters. When love matters, I'm here to help. Dave?
Yeah, I'm having this problem with my girlfriend. It's kind of involved.
Diarrhea. Get it, and you want it gone.
You're a really good listener, you know.
He needs Imodium AD.
Imodium Advanced. It's even better.
Only Imodium Advanced relieves diarrhea plus cramps and bloating by combining 2 medicines, and it's even faster than Imodium AD.
So was I right to invite my mom along on my honeymoon?
Oh, Dave, absolutely.
Imodium Advanced. Faster relief you can count on.
I should have used Preparation H.
If you had, you wouldn't be suffering now. Preparation H helps stop itch and further irritation with a soothing layer of protection.
I should have used Preparation H.
Stops itch, stops irritation.
Hefty One Zip with the hefty slider that clicks closed for freshness.
The little guy's got spunk.
Hefty One Zip, the hefty duty food bag.
Want to color your gray beard or mustache and get a natural look? It's easy with Just for Men Gel.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men Gel. No one can tell with Just for Men Gel.
It's not regular hair coloring, it's specially made to penetrate that coarse, hard-to-color gray. Simply brush in and in 5 minutes, rinse. Now gray is gone, matched up to the rest of your hair.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men Gel.
In the Washington mess, there's word tonight that the House Judiciary Committee has voted to release a heavily edited version of Linda Tripp's secret recordings of her conversations with Monica Lewinsky when Lewinsky thought Tripp was her friend. These edited transcripts and the tapes the Republican majority on the House Committee decided will be released next week. President Clinton today flatly accused the Republican-led Congress of focusing so much on him that the U.S. federal budget is being ignored. The president cited having to sign a stopgap spending bill to prevent another U.S. government shutdown. CBS News White House correspondent Scott Pelley has more about the president's Fight Back campaign and what he's up against. Scott, good evening.
Dan, the most important factor driving the impeachment process now is the election. In 5 weeks, voters will decide the makeup of the next Congress, which will judge the charges against Mr. Clinton. Mr. Clinton threw himself into that campaign today, starting a 3-state fundraising tour. His strategy is to blame Republicans for focusing too much on the scandal.
By failing to meet its most basic governing responsibility, the Republican majority in Congress has its priorities wrong. Partisanship over progress, politics over people.
The greatest threat to Mr. Clinton's presidency is an election day rout.
If he leads his party to another midterm disaster, as in 1994, the White House worries Democrats will turn on him. Republicans are counting on the scandal to propel their voters to the polls. Today, they didn't shy away from suggesting the president's priorities are wrong.
Now, is he the fundraiser-in-chief, or is he the commander-in-chief? Now, we're doing our work. Maybe he just hadn't noticed he's been distracted.
At a fundraiser today, Mr. Clinton seemed to suggest that the woe he has brought on his party is a good thing.
The enemy of the forces of progress in this election is not adversity. Adversity is our friend.
Presidents always campaign, but this year there is a dilemma. Mr. Clinton is essentially raising money and doing favors for the very congressmen who will vote in the impeachment process. Dan?
Scott Pelley at the White House. On another front, reportedly at their request, Paula Jones's lawyers are trying to reach a settlement again with President Clinton's lawyers. This time, it is said, for money without a Clinton apology. CBS's Phil Jones reports on why this and why now.
With Paula Jones and her lawyers exhausted and broke, her attorneys have offered to drop their court fight against the president in exchange for $1 million. John Whitehead is involved in funding the Jones legal battle and negotiating a settlement.
Now, as far as what Paula Jones would get or whatever, that might be negotiated out later, but right now it goes to attorney's fees and expenses.
The president's lawyer, Bob Bennett, had no comment, but sources say he made a counteroffer this week of $500,000, just as Americans watched the president angrily attack the Jones lawsuit during his grand jury testimony.
I deplored the fact that they knew, once they knew our evidence, that this was a bogus lawsuit.
If it is bogus, why would the president be willing to settle? One, it could end the risk of more embarrassing disclosures during Jones's appeal, and it could head off a contempt citation over the truthfulness of his testimony in the Jones case. Jones has agreed to drop her demand that the president apologize.
A settlement of substantial money to the Jones legal team and to the attorney's fees in the case would be tantamount to an apology because it admits that the case had merit. It wasn't bogus, as the president said.
If there's no deal, Jones will continue her fight, a fight that led to the Lewinsky scandal that now threatens the future of Bill Clinton's presidency. Phil Jones, CBS News, Washington.
Overseas, Iran showed off its military hardware with maneuvers today in a blunt message to Afghanistan. Iranian leaders warned again today at the parade that they're ready to use force if necessary in their dispute with the neighboring Taliban government. Meanwhile, the lifting of a death threat against a well-known writer is widely advertised as a signal improving relations with the West, as CBS's Mark Phillips now reports.
It's the first day of the rest of Salman Rushdie's life. For almost 10 years, he's lived under a death sentence, a fatwa, imposed by Iran's Ayatollah Khomeini, who called Rushdie's book, The Satanic Verses, blasphemous. The Iranians even put a $2 million price on Rushdie's head. But now the price tag has been removed. The Iranians say they don't want Rushdie dead after all. For Rushdie, the taste of freedom is tinged with bitterness.
You know, I could ask for apologies. You know, I've had 10 years of my life deformed by this. I've had friends of mine threatened. I've had my family's life messed around with.
For the time being, Salman Rushdie still has the guardian angel of the British police around him wherever he goes. That may change. If it does, it won't be because the Iranian regime has seen the wisdom of tolerance and free speech. It'll be because it has other more important interests. Interests like a pipeline. They want Western oil companies to build one across Iran to link up with the huge deposits being developed in the Caspian Sea. Ironically, the Iranian route is the one the West prefers as well. Solving the Rushdie issue opens another pipeline, the one allowing European and American oil investment to flow. This isn't so much about freedom of speech as it is about freedom of commerce. Even if Rushdie told CBS News today he prefers to think in more noble terms.
And I have to say that in the United States, from day one, I sensed an incredible sense of solidarity. And perhaps it's because the First Amendment is such an important part of Americans', if you like, identity.
So what did Salman Rushdie do with his newfound freedom today? Something he's wanted to do for a decade. He took a walk. Mark Phillips, CBS News, London.
An editor's note, British Petroleum recently announced merger plans with the American oil company Amoco. BP does huge business with and in Iran. This underreported proposed merger deal is widely believed to be causing consideration of shifts in U.S. policy toward Iran in ways not yet fully visible.
Has frequent heartburn been a persistent problem for you? Have you treated it but still suffer on 2 or more days a week? Do you keep getting heartburn even though you've changed your diet? Your heartburn may be due to acid reflux disease. Ask your doctor about Prilosec. 1 capsule daily can provide complete 24-hour heartburn relief because it controls acid for 24 hours. 24 hours. Ask your doctor if Prilosec is right for you. Call to learn more. The most common side effects are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. Want 24-hour heartburn relief with 1 daily dose? Ask your doctor about the most prescribed acid control medicine in America, Prilosec.
From now on, embarrassing odor from bladder leakage won't stop me from going where I want to go.
Or doing what I want to do. And it shouldn't stop you.
Introducing A&D personal care products for bladder leakage in soothing dry lotion and cleansing towelettes. It's the first line of products made to capture and eliminate urine odor on contact and soothe irritated skin.
Ordinary lotions or wipes can't do that.
You'll feel fresh, clean, and odor-free all day.
New A&D personal care. A&D as in odor-free.
At Uniroyal, in order to make a point about our new nail guard tires, we added a few to our test track. Nail guard tires, designed to seal 90% of tread punctures, instantly and permanently. Only from Uniroyal.
Pornography and the possibility of missing federal money at the center of an investigation about a Laverne police officer. The story coming up at 6.
There is potentially very important news tonight about revolutionary treatments concerning flu. CBS's Elizabeth Caledon has the details.
In Temple, Texas, the Eldor family is getting ready for an annual uninvited guest, the flu.
One of them will get it, and 3 or 4 days later, the next one gets it, and then maybe a week later, the next one gets it.
It's a seasonal give and take doctors hope will soon be easier to live with thanks to experimental drugs. One an inhalant and the other a pill, which doctors say are both effective in weakening flu symptoms and reducing its hold from 4 days to about 2.5.
The way these drugs work is to stop the virus from making more copies of itself. And that's that process of reproducing that causes the symptoms in influenza. So by stopping the virus from doing that, we reduce the symptoms.
Along with better treatments, the most promising advances are in prevention, most notably a new nasal vaccine, which is especially effective for children. Doctors say it's unlikely a virus as old and as powerful as influenza will ever be wiped out for good. But short of that, these new drugs, which could be on the market as early as next year, will make suffering through flu season a lot easier. Elizabeth Caledon, CBS News, New York.
On Wall Street, stock prices closed higher today.
Save some hot water. Too late! Honey, turn up the heat.
It is up.
Please let it be him. Please let it be him. Please let it be him.
The gas-fueled complete heat system from Lennox.
It's him.
Virtually unlimited hot water and comfortable home heating in one unit. And it runs on economical natural gas, so it's super efficient.
Yes!
The Lennox complete heat system. Not just heat, complete heat.
Yes. Clean natural gas. Think what you'll save.
Introducing British Classics. A marriage of Victorian elegance and Caribbean soul. British Classics. From Ethan Allen. There's a sale on now.
My dad always said,
as soon as I get a computer, you'll come out with something better.
So to make sure people like Dad have the latest computer, we invented YourWare, technology that grows with you. For just $49.95 a month, you can buy a computer with an Intel Pentium 2 processor, internet access, and in 2 years you can trade it in toward the purchase of a new one.
What do you call this thing?
YourWare. Call 1-800-GATEWAY and let's talk about YourWare.
It hurts so bad. That burning sensation.
so I saw my doctor. He said where heartburn hurts most is where Mylanta works fast. All down through here where you want help fast. My doctor said Mylanta.
Honey, is there any of that chicken cacciatore left?
Look in the freezer.
Hefty One-Zip with the hefty slider that clicks closed for freshness. Hefty One-Zip, the hefty duty food bag.
It feels strong and dependable, yet refreshing. Fix It and Fresh, a stronger, longer hold, combined with a cool, crisp sensation. Fix It and Fresh and forget it.
From now on, embarrassing odor from bladder leakage won't stop me from going where I want to go.
Or doing what I want to do, and it shouldn't stop you.
Introducing A&D personal care products for bladder leakage in soothing dry lotion and cleansing towelettes. It's the first line of products made to capture and eliminate urine odor on contact and soothe irritated skin.
Ordinary lotions or wipes can't do that.
You feel fresh, clean, and odor-free all day.
New A&D personal care. A&D as in odor-free.
Raiders and Cowboys. Jeff George leads Oakland into Dallas, where Neon Deion Sanders and a charged-up Cowboys team will be waiting. The NFL on CBS.
In the newest CBS News New York Times poll, most Americans don't mention President Clinton's troubles as the most important problem facing the country. Not by any means. Case in point, in tonight's Travels with Harry, CBS's Harry Smith shows you a big economic and human growing problem. A growing trouble on the land over Big Sky country, where the proud farmers who produce pastures of plenty may now be left in the dust.
Montana's Judith Basin is so big it reaches out to 7 different mountain ranges. It's where Don Taylor is planting winter wheat that by next summer will turn into waves of amber, just like the song says.
You just get down and dirty.
This, though, might be the last time he ever does this.
How bad is it out here now? As bad as I've ever seen it. By Christmas, things are going to be just really, really sad around here.
Wheat prices are so low they don't even come close to covering what it cost Taylor to plant and harvest his crop.
This, I guess, is old news, you know. People going broke.
Taylor is sure a quarter to a third of Montana wheat growers will be out of business in a year.
Harry, this is going down the tube, and I'm not doing anything wrong.
He blames the government's 2-year-old Freedom to Farm program. It ended decades of price subsidies for American farmers. Out here, they call it freedom to fail.
Some places in Montana, wheat sits outside in piles 20 feet high, like dunes of futility blown in off the prairie by lousy prices and glutted markets.
Surely the government's going to do something. Surely. Wouldn't you think?
Apparently not. Last Monday, while Washington and the media were fixated on the president's deposition, angry Montanans blocked traffic on the Canadian border. They protested because subsidized Canadian wheat and beef pour into America every day. And the whole sorry mess has started to put the squeeze on Main Street, too.
I'm not sure that in Washington, D.C., that they have a clue of what's going on in rural America today.
Lewistown merchant Dale Pfau says a wreck is coming, and Washington only cares about Monica Lewinsky.
I honestly thought she was going to be the best thing that ever happened to egg producers in America. I honestly thought the president would, to get the press off his back, instead of bombing somebody, might come out and really work hard for these thousands of families that are in jeopardy this fall.
While Don Taylor plants what could be his last crop, his wife and his mother stand nearby, stunned.
You go and pass it down to your children, and then all of a sudden it just seems like it's slipping away from you.
Judith Basin is littered with the skeletons of better times. Over the years, depression and drought have left just the toughest and luckiest farmers. Now many of them are wondering if their time has come too.
This is the best place in the world right here. We should be able to make a living on it.
Harry Smith, CBS News, near Moccasin, Montana.
What do Brazilian chocolates, Filipino soft drinks, German motor cars, and the South China Morning Post have in common?
You got to have this.
They're all made in factories that use Siemens industrial systems.
Before you eat or you drink or you write or you read, there is this, and this.
All over the world, we make a lot of things that make a lot of things.
So for this, or this.
We're Siemens.
We can do that.
Sure, I'd like to be financially prepared for whatever might be coming down the road. But I'd also like to be prepared to build a house someday. Right here.
Schwab's Mutual Fund One Source gives you access to hundreds of no-load funds. And our valuable tools can help you build your portfolio. Call now for our free select list.
Because anything you can dream of doing later, you can begin planning now.
Now at Boston Market, home of the chicken America loves, you can start earning up to $100 off your TWA travel, courtesy of Boston Market. So come in today and start earning great savings on your next vacation, only at Boston Market.
For the 14 million women who worry about light to moderate bladder control, now there's new Double Protection Compose Panty and Pad System. The Compose Panty and Pad fit together for double protection. There's a super absorbent disposable pad, but the real difference is the separate washable panty. It gives you double protection with a quilted panel that won't let wetness through. So why worry? Get double protection with Double Protection Compose. Protection that goes beyond the pad.
Neutrogena T-Gel Shampoo, recommended #1 by dermatologists. It works. Works on all 3 major itchy, flaky scalp conditions. The leading dandruff shampoo doesn't. Neutrogena T-Gel Shampoo. It works.
An update now to Hurricane George, blamed for hundreds of deaths in the Caribbean as this wide and dangerous storm heads up the U.S. Gulf Coast. The most likely targets for possible landfall now are marked in red here. We check in with one of the world's hurricane experts, Dr. Neil Frank in Houston. Dr. Frank, where is it going now and how big is it likely to get?
Well, Dan, it reminds me a lot of Hurricane Frederick in 1979. Moved right down the island chain like this storm is doing, moved out into the Gulf of Mexico and began to strengthen, became a Category 3 storm, slammed into the Mobile area with a 15-foot storm surge and caused $1 billion worth of damage.
Well, let's hope it doesn't happen this time. Dr. Neil Frank in Houston, thanks. Stay tuned to this CBS station for updates on the hurricane. Don't forget Face the Nation Sunday morning, and then for Sunday night, here's Iron Mike Wallace with a preview of 60 Minutes.
How could he walk away and say nothing when he saw his best friend assaulting a little girl who his friend minutes later raped and murdered? Let him tell you Sunday on 60 Minutes. And if you thought the connection between women and the construction industry was the wolf whistles they got when they passed a building site, not so. Sunday.
And we'll be back Monday with another edition of the CBS Evening News. Dan Rather, reporting from New York. Good night.
CBS.com for news 24 hours a day. Experience CBS News.